Now. So a quick overview of what we're going to do. Thank you everyone for being here. Um, it looks like I've got a couple people still waiting in the waiting room. Two more joining. Jerry's joining. We're going to try to keep this as brief as possible. Covering the fund drive, we'll do an overview of the fund drive. Michaela Velo, our development director here at the Grand Rapids Community Media Center, will be joining us to talk about taking donations and specifically some different classifications for donors to make sure that a sustaining donor goes in the right category versus a one-time donor, and some important information about that. We're also going to talk about some of the big holes we have next week for the fund drive. Hopefully that will all be resolved by the end of the week, but we've got a lot of issues with some positions we need to fill, including on-air shifts. A quick update on our operations and program coordinator search. I'm going to talk about underwriting and then a kind of a housekeeping studio update from Kristen Scott. And then a reminder, if you had not received the invite, our volunteer appreciation night is tomorrow night at 6 p.m. at Wealthy Theater. I'll talk more about that in just a moment. Before I introduce Michaela to talk about some important items on taking donations from listeners who call in, I do want to mention the fund drive is next Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. on Monday morning through 6 p.m. on Friday afternoon. Pet sounds is the theme. We'll be focusing a couple times each hour, once every half hour, hopefully playing a song about one of our family members with fur. I'm not sure if there are any songs written about ferrets or well, I know there are songs about horses, but dogs, cats, just about any imaginable pet, a song about a fish, that qualifies. We do want to use you, our best resource, especially knowing our library. There are a lot of songs that you can Google songs about pets, and a lot of tracks we have in our library that are not anywhere to be found on Google. So if you have a favorite from an artist in any genre, please let us know. And you can email those to Chris, and we will appreciate you for that. We have several already, but we are going to have some fun with that. We also have a special category for pet owners, pet lovers, actual special premium level where they will get a first time ever YCE logo pet bandana, and we also have a pet bowl, a collapsible logo pet bowl, because every pet owner needs one of those bowls to keep in the water car for water and things like that. So some pretty cool premiums. We've already got a good amount of matching dollars in, and the Meyer Golden ticket is back. The garden party package is back. I'm excited to say that Meyer has upped the number of packages they've given us to 12. Same deal as last year. For $600, you get a 1-year membership to the gardens, and you also get the ability to buy to get any 2 free tickets to any of the shows at the summer concert series that were announced last week, including sold out shows. We are going to introduce those on Monday morning at 7, and we will not be staggering them. When they're gone, they're gone. So we're going to open up all 12 Monday morning at 7. You need to, if you have a friend who always gets these or somebody you want to talk to about this, they need to call in 616-742-WYCE to get those. And when they're gone, they're gone. I'll come back to the fund drive in just a minute. Michaela should be on here someplace. All I'm seeing is super normal AI note taker and everybody else's name. Michaela, are you on here? Okay. Michaela Vela, are you on here? I want to make sure I didn't miss her. Uh,
I'm not seeing her on the list.
I'm not either. So, that's odd. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll come back to her. I want to talk a little bit more about the fund drive, and Scott and Chris, feel free to jump in here. Primarily, I mentioned holes. We have a lot of holes, especially for pitch partners on Monday through most of the prime daytime hours. Also on Tuesday morning, we need a pitch partner there. Thursday morning, we have no pitch partner and we have no host. Smitty is still out, so we need both a pitch partner, and a live host on Thursday morning. I'm not going to do it because I can't talk. Scott, what's the best way for them to get the Sign Up Genius link? Probably in tomorrow's email or previous.
Yeah, I will once again include it in tomorrow's weekly update. It's really important that we have at least one phone person for every shift, especially probably most importantly is now that we're short a staff member, is to have somebody there first thing in the morning. A lot of times in the past, I always start with the morning shift, but when I'm there trying to get things up and running and the phone's ready to go and computers ready to go and people are ringing the doorbell trying to get in and we're having issues, it's tough for me to be that one person when and try to answer phones and not miss donations that might be coming in. So if I could have someone as a phone person every morning to at least start the day, that would really help. But other than that, yeah, like Phil said, I will put this in the weekly update tomorrow. We do still have some holes as far as pitch partners. You know who you like to work with, so feel free to reach out to those people and see if they're available. Otherwise, we're just going to kind of start filling in holes when we've got people that'll help us out. But like I say, if you know someone you like to work with, or someone that that would be a good pitch partner with, help them out. Maybe you help them with their shift, and then they can help you with your shift. But reach out if you need their phone number or contact information. Let me know. There is a contact list in the handbook in the studio as well if you need someone's contact information. I know it's got at least phone number. It probably has email in there too, I think, if I recall correctly. But yeah, just reach out and find out if they can work with you and help you be a pitch partner.
Okay. We will have time at the end for questions, so I'm going to keep moving through our agenda, and hopefully Michaela will hop on and join us here any moment. As you know, um, Sabrina was poached by the Rapidian for a great new position, and she's working full time there, but still with us on every other Saturday. Um, Big shoes to fill, and we have done several interviews. I think we've done 13 interviews over the last couple of weeks. We've interviewed all the candidates, and our goal is to review the candidates, review our notes from the interviews, and make a selection hopefully Thursday or Friday this week and make that offer and have that person on the job as early as possible, hopefully in May. I'm really pleased to say we've had some great applicants, and I feel really confident we're going to get a good person in there. So thank you for your patience in that process. And that just speaks to the quality of the person we had in that position. So we're looking forward to that. Don't have a lot more to talk about. I'll come back to the fourth thing, which was talking about underwriting leads. I'll talk about that. But Chris and Scott, did you want to talk about our computer issue in the studio? We have an update for everyone on that.
Yeah, I can hop in here. I have spent a good couple hours the past 2 days talking to both our IT company and Dell, and we have not entirely diagnosed the problem, but we know what it isn't. And it's gotten to the point now where a Dell service tech is going to work on the machine. So we I've got two conversations going on at once. One with our IT company trying to call Dell's bluff on why they're not going to just send a tech here to the CMC. And then another conversation where they're going to send us a box and a shipping label to send them the machine. Either way, whether it's here on site or at Dell's facility, they're going to look at the machine, fix it. It's still under warranty. We have been making it this far with just the right-hand computer, so we will continue to do so. I did not ask the all-powerful AI bot. We're not on good terms, Vinny. I'm not a big AI fan. And the issue is a lot more than just it shutting down a lot, Sabrina. It says that it doesn't recognize its IP address and that it doesn't recognize the hard drive. It's just it's freaking out. And but yeah, it was able to cooperate well enough for me to try to diagnose it. So um, at the very latest, I think tomorrow we should have the shipping label in the box to send that to Dell, or they're going to send somebody here. I'm waiting to hear back on the correspondence between Dell and Syscom, but it is going to be attended to. And best case scenario, with it being Tuesday today, it could be back in the studio um, by fund drive time. And if not, like I said, we've been making it work with the one computer as is. With how hit or miss Shift Editor is, I honestly, I'm saying this as a music director, I wouldn't worry too much about hitting the now playing button because that's going to make the toolbar gray out and give you the wheel of death for up to a minute. I wouldn't worry about hitting the I've now read this message. Same thing, you're going to get the wheel of death. I trust you all. I know that you're doing your job. And everybody else can just deal with not being able to see what is playing. That's what Shazam is for. The good thing is this is all happening before the fund drive, unlike last year when we lost the server during the fund drive. So we're at least a week ahead of the things. Yes, Sabrina.
I was gonna type it out because I wasn't sure if you were gonna get to me. Would it be worth moving one of the monitors from or one of the towers from the recording studio into the on-air studio? So then you have two in there again?
We did talk about that, and I don't believe that it is worth all the effort of moving that over and talking to Syscom to get everything set up for them to just have to move it again. But really good question.
Yeah, if we didn't have all the IT issues behind the scenes with Syscom as a third party needing to remotely go in there, set everything up, and then completely undo all that, and then set it all up again in the production studio, we would certainly consider that. It's just probably not the best thing for us to do at this point. Um, Anything else in the studio, Scott, Chris, operationally in any of the studios?
No, everything else is working with the exception of that. I know that Mark worked on the turntable. There were some issues with the sound quality and the tone arm skipping. He worked on that this morning, so hopefully that's back up where it needs to be. He's tightened up the phone jack or the headphone jack in the on-air studio. That was a little loose, so he's taking care of that. If you do encounter anything that's not working or you think it needs to be looked at, just shoot me an email or a text or let me know. Mark's really good at getting that stuff. He every week asks what we need to have looked at, and as soon as I give him a list, he goes right to it. So if you see any issues, even if it's preventative maintenance or something of that nature, just let me know, and I'll put it on the list for Mark, and he'll definitely take a look at it for us.
Okay. Chris, do you have anything else? Okay. I want to talk about underwriting real quickly because I do need some help. I mentioned this about once a year, and I'm not ashamed to ask again. We are always looking for new underwriting opportunities on the station. It is an untapped area of potential for us. A lot of areas, a lot of business categories that I just, as one person, have not been able to reach out to. Um, Primarily because I don't have a contact there. So healthcare systems are at the top of the list. Construction firms, we're working to try to get connections with people like Pioneer Construction, Rockford Construction. These are companies that do a lot of institutional support throughout the community, especially for nonprofits. We've kind of scratched the surface with Meyer, but that's still a bit of a struggle. And anybody else in any of those categories that you might know, you might have a connection. I just wanted to encourage you to say, hey, I know someone, I'm happy to take it there with an email introduction, or even you just have a name and we can go from there. Banks and credit unions, that's another area where we had a relationship with Mercantile Bank. They've chosen to put more of their dollars onto digital projects, and unfortunately, that ends up with us losing a nice chunk of underwriting. So we're trying to continue to knock on as many doors as we can. If we had a full-time person doing nothing but knocking on doors and cold calling on underwriting prospects, we probably could bring in another $100,000 a year in underwriting revenue. And I think that's probably a conservative estimate, but I'm hopeful that we can at least scratch off a few more dollars here and there. Every bit helps, and as we continue to have diminishing dollars during our fund drives, this is really critical. Spring fund drive is the biggest fund drive of the year. It's also the last one of our fiscal year, and I just wanted to mention the last of our fiscal year being important because on June 30th we close our books on the fiscal year, and hopefully we're closer to being at in the black or at even and not ending the year at a loss like we have the last several years. And it's likely that we will end the year at a loss again this year. For fiscal year 26-27, the station has to have a balanced budget. So we're trying to do whatever we can to get it at a balanced budget, ideally by the end of next fiscal year, which is FY 25-26. So any kind of opportunities for bringing in new revenue are important. I wanted to real quickly mention something that's not on the agenda that's kind of exciting because this is an event that is a favorite. The Brews and Bubbles Bash, or Bubbles and Brews Bash, that we do every year with the Gilmore Collection. We have exciting news. Two things. We have the date because the Gilmore Collection wanted it to move it back closer to Christmas. So it's Thursday, December 18th. And for the first time in a long time, maybe ever, we are going to a new Gilmore venue. We are going to be at the Gilmore event venue space on West River Drive. It means free parking for everyone who attends, and it means a bigger room. And I think Chris and Scott and I have seen the space. If any of you guys would like to check it out, we can get you in there with a phone call or email. But we will be using one of their rooms at the Gilmore, which will allow for a lot of people to enjoy the event. We're also going to have couches and tables, and it just will be more of a relaxed, fun Christmas party vibe without kind of the configuration of having to go down steps into the bar for home. There is a bar there. There are restrooms immediately next to the space we're going to be using, and room for, you remember what they said, Scott and Chris? I think 250 was the cap for that room, right?
Yeah, 250, they said.
Right. So we're really excited about that, but it's the same event. We'll just be doing a different venue. We are hopeful, and I think you all probably know this, there are a lot of people who just don't like to come to downtown Grand Rapids because of parking costs, because of concerns with, getting around or whatever. There are a lot of perceptions about downtown that may not be so accurate, but keep a lot of people from ever coming downtown. So we're really excited about what the potential that will bring for the Bubbles and Brews Bash. Okay, any other questions? It's 5:20. We knew this was going to be a brief meeting. So you all, by the way, you all have homework assignments. You need to think about songs about dogs, cats, ferrets, fish. Please don't suggest Jim Stafford spiders and snakes, although I'm sure we have a cover of that somewhere in the library. And yeah, they can be whimsical, silly songs, whatever. I would think a lot of them are. But there are also songs that um, I think it's Old King on Neil Young's great album Harvest Moon. That's a song about a dog. We have a lot of these songs, but chances are every one of you has played a song or two that that's about a pet. So shoot those over to Chris, and we will compile the list.
Hey, Phil, let me quickly just kind of go over what Michaela was going to talk about, and I won't go obviously as in depth. But one of the issues we had the last couple of fund drives, as a matter of fact, is when we're putting donations in, up at the top, there's a selection for either a gift or a pledge. And what's happening is a lot of people are calling in saying they want to be a sustaining donor, and it's getting marked as a gift. The difference is a pledge will keep charging their credit card every month ongoing until they stop it or their credit card expires. A gift is only a one-time donation. So if we put in a sustaining donor and mark it as a gift, it's going to charge their credit card one time and stop. And so we had a lot of them last fund drive that people called in saying they wanted to be a sustaining donor. It was marked as a gift when it was put in. It took out one donation and then stopped. And the people have called us back saying, why it was supposed to continue on. Why did it stop? So that was the big thing. And Michaela's going to have information and a couple of graphics and stuff for us next week, just to make sure it's clear. But that was the big thing she wanted to talk about, was just the clarification between what a gift is, which is a one-time donation, and a pledge, which is an ongoing sustaining donation.
Yeah, we'll have information in there and that's important if you're working the phones, you're on the air, and you have to direct somebody in terms of making that donation. But we will have information about that. It's really important we get that distinction in there. We are going to be targeting you guys 40 new sustaining donors. That's really important for us to continue to grow that number, which helps give us steady income every month beyond the trickle or the fire hose flow of underwriting, which is really hard to gauge depending on the time of year and the number of shows that are being booked. As you all probably know, we do a lot of business with venues, and venues are our biggest category, but we're also trying to make sure we can up our consistent sustaining donors. Even at $10 a month, that helps significantly. And if we can bring in 40 new sustaining donors, we're going to consider that a win, which we think should be pretty doable. So just real quickly on the premiums, we have all new WYCE logo socks we're introducing. We have a really cool new canvas baseball cap. It's an embroidered baseball cap. It's going to look really sweet. It's not like the trucker's hat, the black mesh trucker's hat, completely redesigned with station colors, and it's going to look really good. And then we are also at the $250 level bringing back the zip up hoodie. This is a brand new hoodie because a lot of people wanted these. It has the retro YCE logo on one sleeve and then the new logo on the left chest. And did I forget anything about that, Scott? I think that was it.
No, it'll have the GRCMC logo on one arm, and it'll have the old tower logo on the other arm, and like you said, the new logo on the left chest, and then it'll zip. And the big thing is it's a zip up hoodie now instead of the pull over your head. A lot of people requested the zipper hoodie, so now they have that option.
Other questions? Crickets. Will came up with 2 songs about ferrets. So Will wins the 50-50 raffle. Business Ferret by Rectangle Creep, and a song about ferrets. How do you say her name? Karen Pachi? Okay. Cool. Finney reminding me Ben by Michael Jackson is about a rat? What? Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Okay. Cool. I don't have anything. We are on time, actually ahead of time.
Gabby, did you have a question?
Yes, I just sent to the community host the email address for the president for Pioneer, and I will send the other. You mentioned another company, construction company. I will send the other email. They used to work with us for the Mexican festival, and they're very nice. So I sent the email from Tim, I think is the president for Pioneer.
That would be wonderful.
I just sent it to, I don't know who is hosting that.
I don't know either, but we can get back to you on that.
Okay, well, I will. Okay.
Thank you, Gabby. I appreciate that.
What is, do you say another company, but I don't remember. Pioneer and the other one.
Rockford Construction, which is right around the corner from us.
It was another one, but I will look for it in my email.
Okay.
Well,
All right. Also, a shout out to 5 restaurants that are feeding us next week. So if you're going to be here in the middle of the day on air, or you are answering phones or pitch partner, lunch on Monday from Bistro Bella Vita, lunch on Tuesday from El Granjero, lunch on Wednesday from Two Scots Barbecue, lunch on Thursday from a new partner just around the corner, Blue Dog Tavern, and lunch on Friday. We're doing Coney Dogs on Friday. So there's more incentives to sign up and be a pitch partner or answer the phone. Come on, who doesn't love a Coney dog? Okay. I can see looks of fatigue and weariness on everyone's face, so I'm going to shut up. Uh, I thought it was you, Pam. I was looking at you. I was like I was going to lose you there.
I'm sorry. I had 5 hours sleep, but I had my plane touched down at midnight last night. That's why. Sorry.
Glad you are safely home.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you came back on such a crappy weather day, but welcome
Yeah.
to Michigan
Right.
and April. Yeah. We will post this online and shoot us any questions you have afterwards. I don't tell you guys this enough, but thank you for being the most powerful part of the radio station. We couldn't do this without all of you. We love you, and we will see you around here next week, if not
Phil, they wanted to know about tomorrow.
tomorrow.
The
Volunteer
appreciation.
appreciation.
Oh, yeah, volunteer appreciation. Um, Volunteer Appreciation Night is tomorrow night, Wealthy Theater at 6 p.m. There is a sign-up link that went out for RSVPing. If you do need that, let us know. But you are all volunteers and all welcome to that. There is breakfast, and the theme, because tomorrow is National Wear Your Pajamas Day, the theme is pajamas. So do come in your pajamas if you are so inspired. Otherwise, you are welcome to show up and have some fun with us. It's going to be a great night at Wealthy Theater. We will also, every department will also hand out in a recognition award. This will be for the Programmer of the Year for 2024. Somebody who's really done a lot, like all of you have, but somebody we have to choose one. It's like asking who your favorite kid is, but we will hand that out tomorrow night. 6 p.m. and even if you don't RSVP, don't tell anybody I said that. You can probably show up. We'll vouch for you and let you in. Wealthy Theater. They are going to have breakfast food, old morning cartoons that'll show on the screen. It's going to be a lot of fun, and just as a thank you for what you do and all the CMC volunteers. So that is going to wrap it up. Like we said, we'll put this meeting online and email it to you. Everyone have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you around the radio station. Bye-bye.